We are back with Rattler Baseball on the Rattler Network, live from Rattler Field, a production of the CTE Digital Communications Program at San Marcos High School. Good evening, everybody. We are excited to bring you this District 29 6A matchup between the Canyon Cougars and your San Marcos Rattlers. We are back to district play, just 3 games remaining in the district schedule as the rush for the playoffs begins, and the tiebreaker slots are looking good for San Marcos. Right now, Clemens sits in first place in 29-6A, and immediately following them is San Marcos, Steele, Johnson, and East Central. If the 4 of them end up tied, the tiebreakers are tilted towards San Marcos right now, but a win tonight would guarantee it with no need for tiebreaker. So a win tonight for sure, and the Rattlers are playoff bound. So exciting night here as we take on the Canyon Cougars. The Cougars themselves are 9-14. They're 2-8. They're out of the playoffs. Their last game was Saturday night down in San Antonio against Southside, a 7-3 loss. And the Rattlers are 17-6-1 overall with a 6-3 record. Our last broadcast, of course, Friday night, a 15-5 win against Austin High. And again, we're back with district ball. Canyon Cougars are the opponent, and we're ready to play ball here at Rattler Field. All right, here's the opening pitch, and it got a piece of him, So number 24, center fielder J.D. Ramirez will head down to first on a hit by pitch. And we are underway here at Rattler Field. Cougars in town. So with a runner at first, second baseman Alex Felderhoff comes up to bat for the Cougars. And on the mound for the Rattlers, number 6, Jack Vasquez. Squares around a bump, it takes that one. For a ball, 1-0. This season, Jack has pitched in 42 2/3 innings. He has a 6-1 record with a 1.64 ERA, and he struck out 71 batters so far this year. Here's the 1-0. Back over to first. Just about got him. The umpire pointed as if he was going to make the call, but says safe. We have seen time and time again leadoff batters not faring well once they get to first, as Jack Vasquez has one of the best left-handed moves to first of anybody in the district. So we'll do 1-0 again. Here's the pitch. That one misses outside, ball 2. Jack's last start was against Salado, where he pitched 5 innings. He gave up just 1 run on 3 hits and struck out 7 batters. And in district play, he has 5 district starts. He's 4-0 with a 2.26 ERA and 55 district batters struck out. Here's the 2-0. Throw back over to first. Not in time. For the Cougars, Alex Felderhoff, the second baseman, batting currently. Known to be a bunt threat. And that's exactly what he's squaring around to do to try to move that runner over. Ramirez at first for the Cougars. Just a couple of steps off the bag. Certainly not going to challenge Vasquez at this point. The bunt is laid down over to third base. Throw over to first is in time. So Gamboa to Javi Hernandez for the first out of the inning, and the runner advances to second. I'll bring up first baseman Ty Nolan for the Cougars. Nolan is a Kansas Wesleyan commit, batting .407 this season with a .529 on-base average. So this is exactly the guy that they're going to want up with a runner in scoring position here in the top of the first. First pitch swing for a strike. And Jack gets ahead 0-1. In their last game, Nolan was 1 for 4 against Southside Saturday night, looking to come back from that. J.D. Ramirez is at second for the Cougars. Here's the 0-1. Umpire says it is a swing, so Jack Vasquez is up 0-2 to their number 3 hitter in this at-bat. Likes the signs. Got anything available here to him at 0-2. Tries to get him to chase high, but misses. 1-2. We mentioned the Cougars' last game against Southside Saturday for the Rattlers. They went down to San Antonio against San Antonio Harlan. Tough 5-4 loss. They did some platoon pitching with Javi Hernandez pitching 2, Ronnie Mendez Soto pitching 2 2/3, and Caleb Gomez pitching 2 innings, which just sets the scene as that ball's fouled off. Sets the scene for these final 3 games. We had that non-district stretch with Austin High, Salado, a couple of other opponents. And now we've settled in. We're hosting Canyon today. We will go down to New Braunfels Friday against Canyon once more, and we will wrap up the district in the regular season next Tuesday night here at Rattler Field against Buda Johnson. That game broadcast again on YouTube on the Rattler Up Network. All right, it's 1-2. Here's the delivery. Ball up, 2-2. As we mentioned, Ty Nolan, a Kansas Wesleyan commit. So he's definitely got the prowess that he needs to drive that runner in. Vasquez wants to go get him here and stop this here in the first. That ball's hit to shortstop. Trace Munoz is on it. Over to first is a little high. It gets by. It goes over the first baseman. So the run will come around. Ball's going to be ruled as being out of play as it got through. So Nolan will get to go over to second on the error. J.D. Ramirez comes around to score, and the Cougars have an early 1-0 lead. Javi Hernandez looked a little shaken up there as he leaped just as high as he could to try to bring that ball down, just not able to do so. So with the early 1-0 lead, catcher Colson Giese going to go on out, talk to his pitcher. Trying to get him back on track here. Cougars are pinch running with a runner at second. We'll get that name for you in just a moment. But now batting is their shortstop, Jackson Quincy. That ball's there for a strike, 0-1. Quincy leads the team for the Cougars in extra base hits. So again, another good at-bat as Vasquez works through the number 3 and 4 slots here with runners on. And a swing and a miss for strike 2. It's not a pinch runner. I apologize for that. Ty Nolan is still the runner at second. And an 0-2 count now to Jackson Quincy. Ball fouled up and out of play to the right field side. We'll do it again at 0-2. We're excited to have a lot of first responders here in the crowd tonight as they were honored before the game here on First Responders Night. Events like that brought to you by our sponsors. We're excited and thankful to all the sponsors that come out and support Rattler baseball. You'll hear us mention them throughout the night because we can't do any of this without them as that ball misses high for a ball. And it starts at the top with our platinum sponsors, AAL, LLC John Anderson, USG Texas, and Hill Country Sports, making so many amazing things possible out here at Rattler Field, making this one of the best environments in Texas to watch high school baseball. The ball fouled, and that's going to get out of play again, so it'll remain 1-2. For event nights like this and all season long sponsors, we have our gold sponsors, Cavender Nissan and Christus Health. So we appreciate them coming out and supporting us and helping really get behind those first responders that were honored before the game tonight. 1-2 is on the way. No, Jack steps off. He's going to reset there. This broadcast, again, brought to you by the CTE Digital Communications broadcast team. We got a lot of kids out here. We got kids in shifts today. We got so many kids wanting to be a part of these broadcasts, led by Mr. Wisloskic. So we appreciate him bringing his squad out here as that one misses for a ball. Evens account 2-2. He brings his crew out here, and they run cameras. They've worked in the classroom to put things together for the broadcast, and we're just really excited to have them a part of this so that we can bring you Rattler Baseball live on the Rattler Up Network. All right, one out. Here's the 2-2. Grounded to the third baseman. Looks the runner back. Throw over to first. It pulls the runner off the bag, so unfortunately the runner is safe. The ball was just a little bit high there from Gamboa. Hernandez got up and got it, but it took him just off the bag as he caught it. And so Quincy will reach first. Nolan will head to third. And with runners on the corners and one out, their DH, Kamon Cantu, will be up for the Cougars. All right, Rattlers infield, meeting in the middle there. Again, helping their young starter, sophomore Jack Vasquez. Again, he's had a wonderful year this year, but being a sophomore, he's learning his way through these difficult situations, and he's definitely shown a penchant for being able to come back after some tough starts, even starts to games where then he just locks in, and that's exactly what that infield is trying to get him to do here. We're one pitch and a double play from getting out of this inning, so they want to remind him just how close he is to being all right as he faces Cantu. Throw over to first, not there. Came on Cantu, batting 188 for the season with a 278 on-base percentage. Against Southside Saturday night, came on was 1 for 2 with a run scored. Also drove in a run and had a double, stole a base. So great night for him Saturday, looking to repeat that. Puts the bunt down, it's back to the pitcher who's going to go back to the plate, and the play is on time. So the Cougars trying to squeeze the runner in for the second run of the inning, but Jack Vasquez and Colton Giese, the Rattler battery, working together to get the play at the plate. So Cantu will reach on a fielder's choice, but the run is stopped, and there's 2 outs in the inning. So Cougars doing what they could there to try to move that run across, but the Rattlers defense was ready for it, and now with 2 outs and runners at first and second, we'll see the right fielder, number 4, Jacob Cruz for Canyon. Fouls that one off the screen, 0-1. Cruz was the losing pitcher Saturday night. He pitched 1 2/3, gave up 5 hits and 7 runs. Back in the lineup as the right fielder tonight. The 0-1. And no, Jack steps off, resets. So huge defensive play there at the plate. That's going to come to haunt the Cougars potentially later in this game. It kind of kills that rally. Looking to continue it with a 2-out rally here as he takes that ball inside for a ball, 1-1. Runners at the corners with 1 out, but the Rattlers able to stop that play at the plate. And the Cougars now have Quincy at second, Cantu at first, and Cruz looking to drive some runs in. Swing and a miss for a strike, 1-2. Vasquez right where he wants to be here, 1-2. Gives him that option of pitches he can throw ahead in the count. Looks in for the signs from Giese. Sets, and here's the 1-2. Got him looking for a strikeout. So after a rough start to the inning, the Rattlers only end up giving up 1 run. So through half of an inning, the Cougars got 1 in the top of the first. We'll see the Rattlers in the bottom half of the first. You're watching Rattler Baseball here on the Rattler Up Network. Welcome back to Rattler Field and your live broadcast brought to you by the CTE Digital Communications Program here on Rattler Up Network. It's the bottom of the first. Cougars got one run in the top half on 2 errors, so the Rattlers settled down, got them, especially with a great play at the plate stop and a squeeze play from happening that would have allowed that second run to score. And now it's the Rattlers' chance to come on up and see what they can do. All right, so for the Rattlers, number 4, Elijah Ramirez to the plate. Takes the first pitch for a strike. That one misses outside. It'll even the count. Elijah's leading the team with 21 runs scored, tied for the lead with 15 RBIs. He has worked his way into that leadoff slot, especially with that .517 on-base percentage. You can count on him to get on more than half the time. That's exactly what you want in that leadoff slot. He went 2 for 2 Saturday against San Antonio Harlan. He finds himself down 1-2 to start the game here. Takes that pitch inside. Clawed back to 2-2 count now. Trace Munoz on deck for the Rattlers as that ball misses high and loads the count full. 3-2. All right, full count to the leadoff batter. Here we go. That one misses high for a ball. So the leadoff runner is on for the Rattlers. And now shortstop Trace Munoz. All right, Trace with a .316 on base this season, scored 3 runs, stolen a base when he got on. Again, I missed a lot of the season with the hand injury, so looking to recover from that. He's had a great return to the team. His teammate Elijah's on first, looking to continue this. The bunt is put down, but misses foul down the right field side. We've talked on every broadcast. Rattler baseball is Rattler baseball. We get the leadoff runner on. We're going to bunt him into second and put the bat in the hands of guys that are going to bring that runner in from scoring position. That's exactly what we're doing here. It's no surprise to the Cougars. Varga for the Cougars goes into his windup. The runner goes, and it looks like he's going to be out at second. Thought he might have gotten past the slide there. From our vantage point, it looked like he got in behind the tag, but the umpire was in position and says no, so he's caught stealing going into second for the first out of the inning. The pitch was also a strike, so Trace Munoz now will be down 0-2. He misses, that ball misses for a ball, 1-2.
Do you remember in class how we held down that button pair of devices?
All right, that ball into left center field. Left fielder, center fielder collecting on it. J.D. Ramirez for the Cougars makes the catch. And there's 2 outs in the inning. That'll bring up the pitcher for the Rattlers, Jack Vasquez. All right, Jack, team leader in multiple categories. Batting .491 on the season with a .580 on-base percentage. 2-out rallies, certainly not something unfamiliar to the Rattlers this season. So we would love to see Vasquez get on here and get us another one of those trademark 2-outers. As he dribbles that one, it was hit in off the hands. It stayed fair. And the first baseman, Ty Nolan, able to make the out unassisted. And that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. The Rattlers go quickly in the first. After 1 inning complete, the Rattlers and the Cougars are playing ball at Rattler Field. Cougars are up 1-0. Keep it here on the Rattler Up Network while we let you know a little something special about what's going on with our players. So we told you before that this was first responder night, and you'll notice our jerseys are a little bit different than they normally are, where the colors are a little bit different, the positions are a little bit different on the jersey, and you notice on the back the names Copeland and Putnam. Those are the names on every single Rattlers jersey tonight, and that's in honor of First Responders Night. Kenneth Copeland and Justin Putnam, Two officers that lost their lives in the lines of duty for the San Marcos Police Department. Kenneth Copeland, badge number 432. He joined the PD on March 30th of 1998. He worked 19 years with the force before tragically losing his life in service on December 4th of 2017. At the time of his death, he was still on active duty with the Coast Guard, and in his amazing career with law enforcement, he served with the Texas Department of Corrections, Santa Clara County, California, and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office before joining the San Marcos PD, as we said, in '98. The other name you see on the back of those jerseys is Putnam. That's for Justin Putnam, badge number 442. He joined the San Marcos Police Department on November 3rd of 2014. He worked for 6 years on the force before losing his life on April 18th of 2020. He was a Texas State graduate. He worked patrol division for the police department and was also a field training officer. So tonight we honor officers Copeland and Putnam by having their names on the back of the Rattlers jersey. We thank them for their service and for all that they did for our San Marcos community. So on First Responders Night, we will now head to the top of the second. The Cougars enjoy a 1-0 lead, and they send up their number 7 hitter, the left fielder Jacob Abrusli, who takes that first pitch for a ball. These are such special nights where we get to honor all those that make the community what it is for us here in San Marcos. That pitch misses inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Bruce also pitched in their last Friday night's game. He's got a 100 average, 182 on base percentage. Finds himself ahead in the count 2-1. He had a sac fly to help score a run in their last game, Saturday night against Southside. Takes that pitch for a strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Actually, yeah, the count change is actually 3-1. 3-1 the count now to Abruzzi. Ball grounded to Gamboa at third. Right in front of it, a hot shot over to first for the out, for the first out of the inning. That was a rough shot down the line. Gamboa right on top of it and makes the play. All right, that brings up their pitcher, number 18, Aaron Varga. First pitch fouled into the screen for a strike. Varga sat the Rattlers down in order in the first. In district play, he's pitched 21 innings. Currently has a 1-3 record with a 2.33 ERA. He's given up 18 runs, only 7 of them earned. Defense not helping him out as much as he would like, but finds himself at the plate able to help himself out if he can get himself on base and start a new rally for the Cougars. Takes that pitch to even the count at 1 ball and a strike. Number 9 hitter, third baseman Tristan Wofford on deck for the Cougars. A ball to the hit to the shortstop, Trace Munoz, who's over on it. Throw to first for the out. 2 outs in the inning. So after a couple of fielding mistakes in the first, the Rattlers infield has corrected. They get the first 2 batters, and as mentioned, Tristan Wofford, number 25, third baseman for the Cougars, now batting. Tristan in their last game was 2 for 2 with a walk and a double. First pitch from Vasquez, swing and a miss for a strike. Overcast day here at Rattler Field. Wind slightly blowing to left, if at all, very light wind. Shouldn't affect balls too much. That pitch misses for low. Again, very overcast night, no sun in the sky, but it does not appear to be as if the rain is anticipated at this point. Wofford works the count 2-1. Back to the top of the lineup for the Cougars if Wofford's able to extend the inning. He takes that pitch inside for a ball, 3-1. Vasquez looking now to go after this number 9 hitter. We'd love to finish the inning up here and start fresh in the third. The 3-1. Misses just outside for a ball. He walks Wofford. So with 2 outs and a runner at first, we will return to center fielder number 24, J.D. Ramirez. Ramirez a little bit new to the leadoff spot with a 250 average, 423 on base. He went 3 for 3 in their last game against Southside. Got an opportunity to advance a runner here with 2 outs. That one's there for a strike. 0-1. It's the first pitch, other than the hit by pitch that he's seen so far. He got hit by a pitch in the first, came around to score, the only Cougars run so far. So the runner dove back into first as Vasquez delivered that pitch. Again, Cougar and most runners pretty skittish of that incredible left-handed move that Vasquez has over to first. So Wofford being very, very careful. He's got to lead out to the edge of the cut of the grass. He's back in time as that throw goes over. So Ramirez steps back in. He's got a 1-1 count. Looking to take Tristan Wofford across the bases a little bit. And that pickoff move got him. We got a pickle between first and second. So the infield working it together. Runner caught up and looks to have avoided at least one tag. So he's working it here. Back over across. He trips and falls. He did a good job avoiding it. Finally, the tag is made and the runner is out. So we're going to make some room for all the numbers to put in our scorebook on that out. But with that, it's the third out. So after 1.5, the Cougars still up 1-0. Keep it here on the Rattler Up Baseball Network. We are back at Rattler Field for Rattler Baseball on the Rattler Up Network. The Rattlers find themselves down 1-0 in the bottom of the second. And leading off is a designated hitter, Andrew Wilson. Takes that first pitch for a strike. Wilson, a 278 hitter on the season with a 429 on base percentage. A ball away for a ball. 1-1. Wilson scored twice against Austin High on Friday. Big 15-5 victory for the Rattlers. Wilson sits on that one and is ahead now 2-1. Ball's fouled up and out of play. 2-2 now. Right fielder Landon Munoz waiting on deck for the Rattlers. That ball misses. The count goes full, 3-2. Pitcher Aaron Varga got the first batter of the lineup in the first into a full count. Elijah Ramirez and was able to get the out. The ball's fouled off, so Wilson's going to make him work for it. Here's the 3-2. That one misses outside, so the Rattlers are going to get their first runner of the game. So a runner to first for right fielder Landon Munoz. So we mentioned before, Landon leads the team with triples. He now has 4 triples. Love to see one here to tie this ball game up. He had the single that drove in a go-ahead run at the time against Harlan on Saturday. He was 1 for 3 on the day. That's a chance to move a runner into scoring position here. And he does just that as he drops that one into right center field for a base hit. Falls into the gap. Runner going to go ahead and advance to third. There is a play to third, and it's not in time, which allows for Landon to move up to second. So a base hit. Andrew Wilson advances to third on the hit, and Landon able to take second as the go goes across to third. So that worked out exactly how you want it. And that's going to bring up with 2 runners in scoring position and no outs, third baseman Mason Gamboa. All right, Mason Gamboa, Rangers fan, Roughneck Odor fan, senior that plans to attend Texas State after graduating. Has a chance to put 2 on with 2 hit, has a chance with 2 runners in scoring position here. He takes that high for a ball. Mason batting .377 on the year, .535 on base. Squares around a bunt and drops it down. We have a similar play at the plate as before, but this one time the Rattlers get in under the tag. So Canyon tried to squeeze it earlier in the game. We're not able to. The Rattlers are able to, so a wonderful bunt, a quick move down the line by Andrew Wilson, and the Rattlers have tied this game up at 1. All right, runners at the corners now for catcher Colson Giese. Gamboa at first, Munoz at third. That bunt bunted up and out of play. Squeeze was on again. We're going to get every run we can. If we showed it worked once, let's do it again. Infield will make their adjustments now as they've seen Colson square out. Third baseman playing in on the grass. First baseman holding the runner on at first, trying to keep Gamboa from advancing into scoring position himself. That ball misses inside. Runner was holding his own at that point. 1-1 now to Giese. Giese doubled and scored against Austin High on Friday. Faces a 1-1. That one up near the face. Ball 2. 2-1 now. Love the pressure that comes off you when you get that game tied up. 1-1 now. It's going to probably take a few more than that tonight on this cool evening night at Rattler Field. That ball hit foul down the third base line. Giese now faces 2-2 with runners at the corners. Left fielder Juan Alonso waiting on deck for the Rattlers. Appropriately on First Responders Night, Colson says he would like to be a DPS officer in the future as he fouls that one off. We'll do 2-2 again. Also plays football for San Marcos High School. He's enrolled in the culinary arts program, so taking advantage of the many, many different opportunities offered here at San Marcos High School to our great Rattlers. Faces 2-2 with runners at the corners now. Throw over to first, not in time. Pitcher Aaron Varga trying to keep runners close to the corners here. He's given up the tying run. He certainly needs to stop this before it becomes a big rally for the Rattlers here in the second. Still no outs. And now he misses, gets by the catcher a little bit, but he's able to hold on and keep the runner from advancing. So the count goes full. We'll keep our eye on Gamboa at first. With a full count, he may be taken off here as Geesey definitely going to be protecting the plate. Want to stay out of that double play. Double play would score a run. We'd love to keep the runners just rolling on through at this point here in the bottom of the second. Here's the 3-2. It misses for a ball. So Geesey with extreme patience, great job watching those go through, goes ahead and takes the walk. And that has the bases loaded now for left fielder number 2, Juan Alonso. And that's going to bring the coach out to talk to Varga on the mound. Similar situation to what the Rattlers pitcher Jack Vasquez faced in the first. He'd given up that leadoff runner, given up that first run, had some things not break his way, was able to settle in, got the outs, got a strikeout looking to end the inning. You saw the Rattler catcher come out and talk. You saw the Rattler infield come in and talk. So this is what the coach is doing here. Catcher going to be a part of that as well. They want to settle down that young Aaron Varga, see if he can't help himself out of the inning here. But no outs, bases loaded. So this is a huge opportunity for the Rattlers in a 1-1 game. Again, tiebreakers right now are breaking the Rattlers' way to get them that playoff berth. Victory here tonight against the Cougars puts us in the playoffs with no need of tiebreakers. So we'd love to get that out of the way here tonight against Canyon. And with a great opportunity to do just that. Bases loaded, no outs for Alonso. Here we go. Ground ball to second. Felderhoff on it, over to second for 1. Not going to be in time for 2. So the run will come in and score. So we get 1 out at second. Runners will remain at the corners, and the Rattlers now lead 2-1. All right, so with those runners at the corners, it'll be time for Charlie Helgeson, second baseman, to step up and see what he can do here. Huge thing for the Charlie with a strike there. All right, we're going to have to reset our scoring here. We apologize for the error. It is still 1-1. There was the runners not at the corners. We tracked wrong there, so we're resetting our stats here. We apologize for that. Runners at the corners now for Charlie. 1-1 count. Game still tied at 1 apiece. No, look, we were confused. Our score bug was correct. It is 2-1. The outfield scoreboard had not corrected yet, so we got ourselves a little confused there. We're on target now. It's much better this way, 2-1, as that ball's bunted foul for a strike, 1-2. I was waiting for the scoreboard to change, and when it didn't, I was checking the scoreboard, our scorebook, to see if we had it wrong somehow. But it looks like we're in play here, and with 2-1 lead for the Rattlers, runners on the corners, Mason Gamboa at third, Juan Alonso at first, and Charlie Helgeson facing a 1-2 count. That ball misses and even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Charlie, we've mentioned every game. We want to always throw a shout out to him. He is in the very digital communications program at San Marcos High School that brings this broadcast. We appreciate him doing his part to bring you Rattler baseball by playing Rattler baseball. We'd love to see him drive in a run here. Just 1 out, runners on the corners. Here's the 2-2. Runner goes. No throw down. So now 2 runners in scoring position with the bases loaded. Or with the full count. 2 runners on, full count. And the top of the order, back for the Rattlers, coming up next. Elijah Ramirez waits on deck. Infield playing in now for the Cougars. 1-run ball game. They want to do everything they can to keep that runner at third from scoring. Here's the full count pitch. And that ball is hit into left field and foul. So we'll do 3-2 again. Charlie has 11 RBI on the season. And that ball's hit right at the third baseman. He snatches it, steps on the bag to retire the runner, and the Cougars get out of it. They do give up 2. So after 2 innings, the Rattlers lead 2-1. Keep it here on the Rattler Up Network. Welcome back to Rattler Up Baseball on the Rattler Up Network. We've played 2 here at Rattler Field. Rattlers lead 2-1, and the Cougars now coming up to bat in their half of the third. It's the top of the order for them. Center fielder J.D. Ramirez. Misses for a pitch, misses that pitch, ball 1. Goes ahead 2-0 now. JD was the batter in the last inning when the runner was retired for the third out. So he gets a chance to bat now as he flips that one into left field. Shortstop and third baseman on it. Shortstop Trace Munoz over to make the play. And there's 1 out in the inning for second baseman Alex Felderhoff. All right, Felderhoff grounded out to third in the first inning. A .333 average for the district season, .500 on-base percentage. Falls behind 0-1. First baseman Ty Nolan on deck for the Cougars. And that ball's hit into center field for a base hit. So the Cougars get a runner on. Ty Nolan will come up with a runner on first base and a runner that's a threat to steal. He's 5 for 5 with stolen bases this year in district play is Felderhoff. So a running threat is at first, but of course that'll make it very interesting when you've got a stolen base threat plus the incredible pickoff move that we know Jack Vasquez has on the mound. So this should make for a very interesting little matchup here with a runner on first and Nolan batting for the Cougars. Runner returned to the base, but Vasquez went ahead and pitched and it missed for a ball, 1-0. Felderhoff's first chance to see Vasquez's move live. He's back on that one. Ty Nolan 1 for 4 in the Cougars' last game. He grounds out ball to third base, but foul, 1-1. I want to thank our Rattler boosters for feeding this great crew up here, these kids with their teacher, Mr. Wassilsik, that comes up and does the cameras, puts the pieces together, and the boosters take care of them with drinks and sausage wraps and hot dogs and hamburgers. We really appreciate them supporting these kids, trying to support Rattler baseball. All right, the move is over. They've got him. He heads down to second, and the tag is in time. So Vasquez wins that battle, and a second pickoff happens. It goes 1-3-6, and there's 2 outs in the inning. All right, so that early runner is erased. Now Nolan faces a 1-1 count with 2 outs and nobody on. Ball's popped up in the air. Third and short on it. Shortstop calls it, and Trace Munoz gets his second out of the inning, and the Rattlers retire the side. After 2.5, the Rattlers lead 2-1. We're back with more Rattler baseball.
Rattlers put up a run in the third, and we move to the top of the fourth.
Work. Rattler baseball continues as we head to the top of the fourth now, and the Cougars will send up their 4, 5, and 6 hitters: Quincy, Cantu, and Cruz. Rattlers got 2 in the second, 1 in the third for their 3. Cougars got their leadoff runner on the first on a hit by pitch. He came around to score, and that's been the scoring in the game so far here as we head into the top of the fourth. Shortstop Jackson Quincy for the Cougars. He hits that one in the air, in the infield. Trace Munoz under it, makes the catch for the first out. 3 of the last 4 batters for the Cougars have flown out to shortstop. So Trace Munoz definitely getting his work in on the defensive side of things as their designated hitter. Number 5 came on Cantu, now comes to the plate. In their last game Saturday night against Southside, he was 1 for 2. He scored a run and drove in a run. Swing and a miss for a strike. All right, adjusting the shoes as Vasquez steps off to relax. Vasquez again had a rough first inning, but got out of it with only 1 run allowed. He's retired 8 in a row now, dating back to the first inning. The 0-1 is on its way. Ball's hit into left field. It's hit well. And it falls foul. We were kind of waiting for that umpire's discretion. We don't want to make the call ourselves, but looked foul to us, and it was. So 0-2 now. Cantu definitely got a lot of that one. Off the bat, it looked like trouble as Alonso in left was trailing as fast as he could, but not much wind here. The outfield flags are pointing to the left, but not full. The 0-2 misses high for a ball, 1-2. Right fielder Jacob Cruz next to bat for the Cougars. Fouls that one back. Umpire says it was fouled off, so we're going to do 1-2 again. Looked like Webb wanted to know if it was caught, but it was in the ground a little bit. So 1-2 with 1 and out, 2-2 now with 1 out. No, they're resetting. It is 1-2. There's the swing and a miss for a strikeout. Jack Vasquez's second strikeout of the game is the second out of the 4th inning, and right fielder Jacob Cruz comes to the plate. Cruz was one of the other strikeout victim in the first. Struck out looking to end the inning. Swings and misses at that one for 0-1. When the Rattlers come back in the 4th, they'll send up Gamboa, Giese, and Alonso. That breaking pitch misses just outside for a ball. Two outs in the 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike two. Cruz has doubles in back-to-back games for Canyon. Would love to make it a third in a row if he can get one tonight. Takes that pitch inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cruz Saturday night against Southside was 1 for 2 with a walk, strikeout, and a double in that game. Sits on that one and loads the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Left fielder Jacob Abruzli waiting on deck if Cruz can continue the inning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And after a first inning allowed run, Jack Vasquez has sat down 10 Cougars in a row. We've played 3.5, and the Rattlers lead 3-1. More Rattler baseball coming up on the Rattler Up Network. All right, Rattler baseball back on the Rattler Up Network. The Rattlers lead 3-1, and we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. And leading off will be third baseman Mason Gamboa. Mason reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning. Looking to get some more runs for pitcher Jack Vasquez tonight. Squares around and pulls back on that one. So ball 1. We give opportunity for players to give some shout-outs in the media days, and he had one of the longest ones. His shout-outs, he had lots of people on it, as he lets that one go, for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. So Mason Gamboa, his shout-outs to Ma Dukes, Pops, Sheffy, Miss Buckteen, Miss Juarez, Papa Glenn, Draco his dog, and his biggest shout-out, he says, to Coach Cogdill, as he hits that one to the first baseman who bobbles it, but he's able to get over to the bag just a step ahead, and there's 1 out in the inning. Hot shot down the first base side. Ty Nolan for Canyon was able to make the play, bobbled it. Mason was on his horse, running as fast as he could, even though it was hit right at him, and he almost made it. He ended up turning that into what could have been a routine play, trying to get himself on base. So great effort by Gamboa. It'll bring up catcher Colson Giese. He walked in the first. Gets ahead 1 ball and no strikes. Giese batting .213 with a .333 on-base percentage. Takes that pitch for a strike. Fellow catcher Buster Posey, his favorite player. White Sox, his favorite team. We mentioned earlier, interested in potentially, he's a junior now, but interested in potentially being a DPS officer in the future. And so we love hearing that on first responder night. He hits that one into left field. Looks like it's going to drop for a base hit. At least 1. He's headed for 2. The throw is in. It will not be in time. And Giese with a double down the left field line will get the Rattlers going here in the 4th and bring up left fielder Juan Alonso. All right, so catcher's going to come back and get the equipment on and bring in the pinch runner, number 14, sophomore Miguel Garcia. So Miguel gets a chance to run for Giese. Alonso with a chance to bring Miguel in. Alonso reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd. Takes that pitch for a ball. Alonso batting .231 with a .483 on base. He has 6 RBIs on the season. Number 7 just sitting out there waiting for him at second in the form of Miguel Garcia. That ball misses way outside, ball 2. Alonso takes computer science and robotics at San Marcos High School. So certainly knows his way around technology. Here's the 2-0. Takes that one outside, ball 3. So Juan Alonso being very patient at the plate right now, junior. See if he gets the green light on 3-0. He holds back and takes a strike for 3-1. Miguel Garcia has 4 stolen bases on the season. So, running threat for the Rattlers at second right now. As that one misses outside for a ball, and that walk will put runners at first and second as second baseman Charlie Helgeson heads to the plate. We talked before, Charlie, a big NHL fan. Not a lot of hockey fans down here. Is an Islanders fan. Also loves the Vikings, the Knicks, and the Oregon Ducks. He also sings in the choir at San Marcos High School. Right now, he'd like to add a couple of more RBIs to the resume with 2 runners on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. He hits that one out into left center field. Brusley is under it and makes the play. Runner's not able to tag as the ball comes into third. So that fly ball will make it 2 outs in the inning, and the Rattlers will head back to the top of the lineup with center fielder Elijah Ramirez. Elijah has drawn 2 walks tonight. He scored in the 3rd. Batting .344 on the season, slugging .406. See if we get a quintessential Rattler 2-out rally here. That pitch is there for a strike. If Elijah can extend the inning, shortstop Trace Munoz waits on deck for the Rattlers. Shortstop, the only one holding the runner at second on. So Miguel Garcia is able to get a nice heavy lead, especially that secondary lead as that ball misses wide for a ball, 1-1. As we mentioned, Miguel Garcia with 4 stolen bases this season. Cougars may want to think twice about leaving him alone, but they're focused on the batter with 2 outs and a 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Boy, Elijah had something on that one for sure. All right, behind the count, 1-2. He'll got to protect that plate now. Time called. We'll reset. And here's the 1-2. The ball is flared out into center, left center, but no, the wind brings it back over. Shortstop Jackson Quincy on it, and that will retire the Rattlers in the inning. But through 4 innings, the Rattlers continue to lead 3-1, and we'll be back with more baseball here on the Rattler Up Network. We've played 4 innings here at Rattler Field. The Rattlers enjoy a 3-1 lead. So we head to the top of the 5th now. And for the Cougars, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in Abruzli, Varga, and Wofford. Jack Vasquez allowed 1 run in the first, but then has retired them in order in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings. Has retired 10 straight batters. He has 3 strikeouts on the day. And he'll face the left fielder, number 2, Jacob Abruzli. Swing and a miss for a strike to start him off. Abruzli grounded out to 3rd in the 2nd. That ball misses. Ball 1. Again, Abruzli, also a pitcher for the Cougars. Pitch very recently, though. That ball finds its way into the hole. A diving Trace Munoz gets to it, kind of pushes the ball off, and into second with a base hit and really a double. We're going to go double on that one. Abruzli gets the leadoff runner on for the Cougars, and they're in business here in the top of the 5th with pitcher Aaron Varga in a situation to help his own cause. All right, so Varga, the pitcher, he's given up 3 runs so far in a 3-1 ball game. He's a runner at second, no outs, so big opportunity for him here. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Rattler middle infield, allowing the shortstop to primarily keep the runner on, it looks like. Might be expecting Varga to go opposite field, swing a little late against a Jack Vasquez fastball. But this foul ball is hit up. Giese removes the mask and makes the catch. So the fly ball back at the catcher will be the first out of the inning. And it's the bottom of the order now for Canyon in the form of 3rd baseman Tristan Wofford. Tristan, a 182 hitter on the season. In their game against Southside Saturday night, he was 2 for 2 with a walk and a double. Looks to repeat that and drive in a run here as they find themselves down 3-1 here in the top of the 5th. This District 29 6A matchup. That pitch is there for a strike. Now Charlie Helgeson over at second, holding the runner on, also playing defense just right behind the bag. Slides back into position here as that pitch is there for a strike, 0-2. Charlie and Trace always doing such a wonderful job keeping the runners on, but returning in a sprint back to their position and be there for plays. That's continued here tonight as Wofford now faces 0-2. That one's not there, and he gets away. Runner will advance to 3rd. One of the hardest throws Vasquez has made tonight, but it just got away from him. Wasn't able to get held onto by Giese. So the runner advances to 3rd now on the pitch. And Wofford faces a 1-2, 1 out with that runner at 3rd, Abruzli. Ground ball, foul. Still 1-2. Again, we'll see these Cougars again on Friday night at their ballpark in New Braunfels. Then we'll wrap up the regular season. Broadcast live on the air, brought to you by the CTE Digital Communications Program here on the Rattler Up Network on Tuesday night next week against Buda Johnson. And then it's playoff time. So things are heating up here in Rattler Nation, and Rattler Field is the place to be to see it all. The 1-2, here's the delivery. Swing and a miss, got him for another strikeout. That'll be Vasquez's 4th strikeout on the night, and it'll send the Canyon Cougars to the top of their lineup and center fielder J.D. Ramirez. Ramirez 0 for 1 on the night, was hit by a pitch and came around to score the only run in the first. Flew out to the shortstop in the third. Still have that runner at third to be wary of. That pitch is there for a strike. Brusley led the inning off with a double, but the Rattlers have been able to get 2 in a row after that and looking to escape here with 2 outs and an 0-1 count. Is able to check his swing. 1-1. They appeal down. No appeal. Umpire does not take the appeal, so it'll stay 1-1. Ball misses outside, 2-1. All right, the 2-1 on its way. Swing and a miss for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 5th. Here it is. That one misses outside, ball 3. All right, so it's going to be all about Ramirez here. Full count, 2 outs. Brusley will be running on the pitch. Retire the batter and get out of the inning. Here we go. No, that one misses high, ball 4. So Ramirez heads down to first, and Felderhoff has an opportunity to get the Cougars a little bit closer in this 3-1 ball game. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Felderhoff got a base hit in the third, but was picked off on another Vasquez pickoff move. Grounded out to third in the first inning. Ramirez at first getting a 1 to 1.5 step lead. Does not want to sit this inning down on a pickoff move. Wants to put it in the hands of Felderhoff. And that's exactly who you want here. A .333 average, a .500 on-base percentage. Another pickoff move. It was quick, but not there. So even with Ramirez just barely having 2 steps off the bag, he's still having to hustle back as Vasquez continues to try to get that out at first and get the Rattlers done here in the 5th. And that pitch misses. So Felderhoff ahead in the count 1-0. Got to believe we'll see another couple of throws down to first before this one's over. Again, Ramirez just barely nudging off the bag. It's more about baiting them into that secondary lead as that throws over. That's what continues to happen. And of course, for opposing teams, they can overcorrect and refuse to be picked off, but that also means that they're not getting the leads and the secondary leads they want, and it keeps them off the base paths and keeps them from advancing like they might want to. So it's a win-win for the Rattlers when you got a thrower that has this pickoff move like this, as the count evens 1-1. If the inning continues, first baseman Ty Nolan waits on deck for the Canyon Cougars. That ball hit right to the shortstop, Trace Munoz, who throws over to Helgeson in second to get the out and the 3rd out of the inning. So no runs for the Cougars. Through 4.5 innings, the Rattlers continue to lead 3-1, and we'll be back with more on the Rattler Up Network. Rattler baseball continues on the Rattler Up Network as we head to the bottom of the fifth inning. The Rattlers will have Munoz, Vasquez, and Wilson up as they look to pad their 3-1 lead currently against the Canyon Cougars. We will see these guys. We said Friday night. We're just used to the Tuesday, Friday home and aways all season, but thanks to Good Friday, this game we'll be playing the Cougars again in New Braunfels Thursday night. So look for that game in New Braunfels. Go down and support your Rattlers against Cougars. And then we'll wrap it up next Tuesday night here at Rattler Field and live on the Rattler Up Network against Buda Johnson. So leading off for the Rattlers in the bottom of the fifth, shortstop Trace Munoz. Squares around a bunt early on, but takes a ball. Trace's shout out at media time was his parents for always being there for him. As he takes that pitch for a strike, 1-1. Special thanks to our season and team meal sponsors, Esquivel Glass, The Root Cellar, and Garcia's Restaurant in Seguin for bringing us Rattler baseball and doing all the great things that happen here at Rattler Field. That foul ball is hit down the right field side. Not quite enough, right into the edge of the ball field as catcher Caden Vincent was over to try to make a play, but not enough room. So Munoz will have a 1-2 count now. Again, we thank the kids in the CT Digital Communications Broadcasting Program. Mr. Waslosik leading them and bringing them out here to the field to put this on for you. As that pitch evens the count at 2 apiece. Vasquez and Wilson still to go for the Rattlers this inning. That ball fouled down the left field side. The wind has picked up a little bit here this evening. Still not a high wind, but certainly not as strong as we've seen in some previous broadcasts. We did see a couple of fly balls that looked down the middle, kind of shift their way to the shortstop. That's about the effect they've had on the big ball fly balls. As he swings and misses for a strike, and there's one out in the inning. Varga gets his first strikeout of the game. So now the pitcher-on-pitcher matchup as Aaron Varga for the Cougars will face the Rattlers' Jack Vasquez. Jack reached in the third, got on base in the third with a walk as he takes a ball there. Jack slugging .618, batting .491 on the season. As he takes that pitch for a ball 2. One of the many sophomores on the team is Jack Vasquez, currently enrolled in the kinesiology program at San Marcos High School. And he hits that one into center field. J.D. Ramirez is on it and is able to make the catch for the second out of the inning. DH Andrew Wilson now will make his way to the bat. Andrew scored twice against Austin High on Friday. Batting .278, .352 slugging. Walked and scored in the second as he takes that pitch for a ball. Landon Munoz waits on deck for the Rattlers. That one's there, 1 ball, 1 strike. So Varga has given up 3, but he's scattered the hits and the base runners as best he can. Pretty good outing for him so far. Rattlers just being able to take advantage of the opportunities where Canyon not able to. He has Wilson. He's down to Wilson, 3-1 now. Looked like maybe a grip issue of some sort on that. Just didn't come out of the hands correctly, missed way outside. Now he's got to come back and throw something hittable, 3-1. That one's going to be low, ball 4. So another walk for the Rattlers, and with the 2 outs, right fielder Landon Munoz makes his way to the plate.
Bring that other one back.
7 Rattler walks on the inning, or on the game so far. As Wilson gets his lead from first, a big lead way into the second cut. And that pitch misses for a ball. You got that little moon-shaped indention in the infield by the bases. He's got a half a step past the edge of that moon. That pitch misses also, so 2-0 now to Munoz, who, if he can keep the inning alive, will allow Mason Gamboa to take the plate for the Rattlers. Before that happens, we may be seeing a pitching change. I don't know if this is a calm your pitcher down. There's no call to the bullpen just yet. But he is going to go ahead and make the call. So Aaron Varga will go ahead and exit. He pitched 4 2/3. He had a strikeout, gave up 3 runs. The runner on first, Andrew Wilson, does belong to him. And for the Cougars, they will turn it over to number 8, Julian Ailman. Julian pitched 2 1/3 against Steele Friday night. So his job here is to get this third out in the 5th and let the Cougars take advantage of one of their 2 innings left to get back in this ball game down 3-1. I want to thank at this time, of course, some more sponsors. It's just amazing that it takes all game to thank all the sponsors. That's just how many incredible community members want to be a part of Rattler Baseball. And, of course, if your business wants to also be a part of Rattler Baseball, reach out to the Rattler Booster Club. We want to have everybody involved that we can, the parents and the families and the communities coming together to bring this sport to you. Our bronze sponsors returning this season: Southwest Towing, Ernie's Paint and Body, Frost Bank, Sunset Bowling Lanes, McCoy's Building, NL Designs, Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union, Carruthers Dental, Paul's Paint and Body, and Saucedo's Wrecker Service. So again, it's taken 5 innings to get to all the people that step up and say, our business want to be a part of Rattler Baseball, and we're just excited to have them here. It allows us to have not just games like this, but events like tonight, First Responder Night. As you saw earlier in the broadcast, the Rattlers wearing special uniforms honoring Officers Copeland and Putnam, who were killed in the line of service few years ago, recognizing their service to the San Marcos PD and the San Marcos community. So as Julian Ailman talks to his team, they kind of give him a feel for what he's walking into, what he's inherited. He has one job, that is to get this third out in this 5th inning. He has Andrew Wilson, who reached on a walk, and he faces right fielder Landon Munoz. Landon, with a base hit in the 2nd, did come around to score. He's batting .300 for the season, a .429 slugging. And now he's worked the count to 3-0. New pitcher, 3-0, probably on a take here. Let's see if he can throw a strike and help himself out. He does. Throw down to first, though, but not in time. So Munoz now will face a 3-1 count with Wilson over at first. Again, Wilson getting a very, very healthy lead here. Ailman for the Cougars, only kind of a passing glance. Worried, focused primarily on this batter as that ball's fouled down the line. So it's going to make a full count. Of course, this makes for a big pitch in this inning and in this game. We know Wilson will be running on a full count, 2 outs. If you can get a ball in play into that outfield, you at least get him to third, find the gap, he's going to score. Rattlers looking to pad this lead, knowing we still got 2 innings left to go in this 29-6A matchup. So big moment in the game, 3-2, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that ball finds the gap, right center field. It's going to drop for a base hit or more. Runner's going to come around to score. Gamboa to second, coming on around, and he is going to stand up with a triple and a RBI, and the Rattlers lead 4-1. All right. So sorry about that. Landon Munoz with the triple. Skipped ahead in the scoring book there. Mason Gamboa now with his opportunity as the Rattlers lead 4-1. That pitch is in there for a strike. once again, 2 out rallies. This the name of the game for Rattler baseball this season, and especially interesting considering what a young team this is. So many sophomores on this team, but the pressure has not bothered them to this point in the season. Ball misses 1-1. So Munoz with that triple drives in a run. His 11th RBI of the season. And that ball's hit well into center field. J.D. Ramirez is under it. And the Cougars end the inning, but the damage was done. Another run for the Rattlers just in the nick of time. And after 5 complete, the Rattlers lead 4-1. We'll be back on the Rattler Up Network. We head to the top half of the 6th inning in Rattler baseball on the Rattler Up Network. Rattlers enjoying a 4-1 lead. In the bottom of the 5th, Andrew Wilson with 2 outs drew the walk and then landed Munoz with a triple drives in the run to add to the Rattler lead. And Vasquez very appreciative of that. We'll take this 4-1 lead now into the top of the 6th as Canyon sends up their numbers 3, 4, and 5 hitters. So this is going to be a huge opportunity. They got the heart of the order up. They've got to put a couple back up on the board here. And it's going to start with their first baseman, Ty Nolan. He takes that first pitch for a ball. Ty is 0 for 2 tonight. Reached on an error in the first. Flew out to the shortstop in the third. Hits a ground ball down the left field side. Gamboa there, but it's foul. Talked about it earlier, Vasquez. Tough first inning. Settled in. Retired 10 straight. That ball floating out to right field. Landon on it. Covered a lot of ground, but Elijah able to get underneath it there. And there's 1 out. All right, shortstop Jackson Quincy in for the Cougars. He reached on an error in the first and also flew out to the shortstop in the 4th, however. Has 1 out here, trying to get something going for the Cougars. Swing and a miss for a strike. The Rattlers will have their 7, 8, and 9 spots in the lineup in the 6th. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Vasquez dealing so far here in the 6th. The 0-2. Misses up for a ball. Ty Nolan, a Kansas Wesleyan commit for the Cougars. As he takes ball 2 there, evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's batting .407 this season. Looking to get a rally going for Canyon. But goes down swinging for the 2nd out of the inning, the 5th strikeout for Vasquez on the night. And they'll rely on their DH, came on Cantu, with 2 outs in the 6th. came on. His first pitch here in this inning is there for a strike. The 0-1. Ball hit right at Gamboa at third. The throw across the diamond gets him. And the Cougars go down in order 1, 2, 3 through 5.5 innings. The Rattlers lead 4-1, and they'll be batting in the bottom of the 6th when we return here on the Rattler Up Network. We're live at Rattler Field on the Rattler Up Network. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Rattlers lead 4-1 in this all-important 29-6A matchup. They'll be at the bottom of the order with Giese, Alonso, and Helgeson here in the 6th. Rattlers enjoying that 4-1 lead. Andrew Wilson with 2 of those twice this game. He walked and come around to score. Landon Munoz with a triple in the last inning drove in that 4th run. And so now catcher Colson Giese steps up to the plate. Can never have enough runs in this ball game. 4-1. Love to hand something more than that to Jack as we go out in the 7th. Cougars just one more opportunity to get back in this ball game. That pitch misses for a ball. So Giese will step back in facing a 1-0 count. Fouls that one off the screen, 1-1. Colson batting .218, but a .344 slugging. Scored 4 runs on 12 hits this season. Swing and a miss, 4 strike. His favorite moment this season, we brought to you live in the very first live broadcast of Rattler Baseball on the Rattler Up Network, a walk-off home run. What an exciting time that was. Hope to bring you more of those as a part of the digital communications program as that ball misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, this baseball season, a pilot for that program, bringing you home baseball games on the Rattler Up Network with the option of next year moving into other sports, fine arts activities, and other events across Rattler Nation, all student-produced and directed. As the strike 3 was dropped, so Giese hustling down the line, but he is retired for the first out in the inning. And we turn to left fielder Juan Alonso. All right, Alonso, 13 runs on 9 hits this season. Looking to get the Rattlers started here in the 6th. Takes that first pitch for a ball. He's been on both times he's come to bat this game. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd. Was walked in the 4th. Would love to get on and get this rally continuing here in the 6th. Ball 2. Charlie Helgeson on deck for the Rattlers, and then it'll go back to the top of the order. We anticipate Jack Vasquez returning in the 7th to put this one away. We'll see. Again, quick turnaround, as we mentioned, with Good Friday. Thursday night, we return to face these Cougars down in New Braunfels. And that pitch is there, 3-1. Ailman came on to pitch with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Was able to get the Cougars out of the inning and strand a runner at third. That ball is skied into the air down the right field side. First baseman over to try to make a play, but it gets just out of play. Great camera work there to show how close that came. That first baseman was looking it in the entire time. And that'll load the count for Alonso. Left-handed junior, Juan Alonso for the Rattlers. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for a strike, strike 3. So Ailman has definitely settled in for the Cougars. He struck out 2 here in the 6th, and that'll bring up second baseman Charlie Helgeson. Charlie, a .384 on-base percentage, 9 hits. He's been walked 16 times. Love to get on and get a 2-out rally going for the Rattlers with the top of the order waiting. Quarter of the way there with a 1-0 count. Sees that one outside, 2-0, not chasing. All right, Charlie looking in, 2 outs. 4-1 Rattler lead. Here's the pitch. Takes that one for a strike. Squared around a bunt, trying to throw the pitcher off a little bit. Didn't work. Gets him on that one, swing and a miss, strike 2. So Ailman has struck out the first 2 batters here in the inning. He's got a 2-2 count to Helgeson, who would love to break that up and keep the inning going for the Rattlers. Here's the 2-2. Fouls it off. We'll do it again. Elijah Ramirez waits patiently on deck for the Rattlers. All right, 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that ball is hit into left field for a base hit, stays fair. He's rounding first and he's headed for 2. The throw will not be in time. And Charlie knots a 2-out double to keep the inning alive for Elijah Ramirez. Right down the left field line, greatly hit. Cougar left fielder Jacob Arbrusley having to really hustle to get down there and cut that off, or it could have been even more trouble. Throw was made to second, but not anywhere near in time as Charlie was safe all the way. So a 2-out rally, certainly something we're familiar with in Rattler Nation. So with 2 outs and a runner at second, we go to the top of the order and center fielder Elijah Ramirez. Elijah's drawn 2 walks tonight, scored on that in the 3rd inning. Takes that pitch for a strike. We mentioned earlier, Elijah more plate appearances than anybody else on the team. Would love to make the most of this one. Fouls that one down the left field side, 0-2. Now Elijah's a patient hitter. He leads the team with 18 walks. So it makes for an interesting 0-2. You're obviously protecting the plate with 2 strikes on you, but Elijah's not typically one to go chasing after bad pitches. So if Ailman wants to get him here, he's going to have to throw him a strike. Here's the 0-2. Misses, ball 1. Helgeson, your runner at second. Cougar infield. Keeping an honest look at him, but again, with 2 outs, really focused on the runner. Second baseman in normal depth, shortstop the only one playing back. And that ball's flipped into left field. Jacob Arbrusley's on it, and he makes the catch. And they get the Rattlers in the 6th. So we're going to go to the 7th inning, and the Rattlers lead 4-1. We'll be back with the conclusion of this ball game on the Rattler Up Network. We've played 6 here at Rattler Field, and we're in the 7th inning now. Rattlers enjoy a 4-1 lead. Canyon will send up their 6, 7, and 8 hitters. And it's an exciting prospect for the Rattlers, as we mentioned earlier in the night. Clemens sits in first place in District 29 6A. San Marcos, Steele, Johnson, and East Central all fighting for the remaining playoff spots in the district. Of course, the tiebreakers work out in San Marcos' favor, so that's a good thing. But a victory tonight seals it up, and we don't need any tiebreakers to worry about. We're in for sure. So we are 3 outs away from being able to make that designation, and we're excited to bring that to you here on the Rattler Up Network. Jack Vasquez returns to complete the game. He's pitched 6. He's only allowed the 1 run. He's struck out 5 tonight. He will face Cruz, Abruzli, and Varga. Jacob Cruz, 2 of the 5 strikeouts in both of his plate appearances so far tonight. Takes that pitch for a ball. Cruz, again, as we mentioned, doubles in back-to-back games. And finds the gap for a base hit. That one won't be a double as Juan Alonso is on it, but the leadoff runner is on. So Cougars doing what they have to do to stay alive in this ball game. They get the leadoff runner on, and left fielder Jacob Abruzli will come to bat. All right, so Cruz on base for the first time tonight, which means it'll also be his first time seeing Jack Vasquez's pickoff move. He takes 2 steps off the bag and goes nowhere else as that pitch is in for a strike. All right, again, Cruz not very far away from the bag. Abruzli awaits the 0-1. There's a throw over. Almost gets him. Again, runner leaning towards second just as Vasquez continues to make the move over. Almost gets him. Pickoff moves have ended so many early rallies for not just the Cougars tonight, but other teams throughout the season. As that ball misses for a ball, 1-1. The starting pitcher, Aaron Varga, due up for the Cougars next. Is that throw over? Close, but not time. Again, difficult situation to be in if you're Jacob Cruz. You've seen a couple of your teammates be picked off in the inning. This is your first time in this big 7th inning to be on base. The count works to 2-1. You know you cannot allow a pickoff here. You've got to stay on and get this rally going. You need 3 at least this inning to keep this ball game going. Seems to have taken at least another half step there. So he's starting to feel comfortable. Throw over, not in time. Vasquez would love for the runner Cruz to feel comfortable enough to catch him sleeping. 2-1 the count in the pitch. Misses high, ball 3. All right, so the Cougars exactly where they want to be. Varga on deck. Abruzli at the plate with a 3-1 count. And Cruz at first base. No outs here in the top of the 7th. And that pitch is there. Strike 2. Big pitch for Jack Vasquez there. Runs the count full. All right, an important 3-2 pitch here in this ball game. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Huge pitch, huge out. And there's 1 out in the inning. Oh, no, there was a foul tip. So we're going to do it again. So we get to do 3-2, the excitement of 3-2 all over again. 3-2, runner at first. Cruz on first. Abruzli at the plate. Throw over, not in time again. All right. Vasquez looking in for the signs. Any number of ways he may want to attack Brusley here at the plate so far. That ball hit into left field. Juan Alonso is under it, and he's there to make the catch. Runner will not be able to tag. So on a full count, he gets the out with a fly ball into left field, and the Cougars will have 2 outs remaining.
With the catch in left field.
All right, 1 down, and the runner at first again. They send up number 8, Julian Ailman. He had replaced Vargert in the 5th. That one misses. I can only guess high. Looked good to me. 1-0. The ball fouled off the screen, 1-1. Ailman against Southside Saturday night was 1 for 3. Stole a base. Needs to advance Cruz here, who's sitting on first. He's had Vasquez throw over a number of times. He dives back on just a step off there. The number 9 hitter, third baseman Tristan Wofford, waits on deck for the Cougars, trying to make this happen. They got 2 outs remaining to get the 3 they need to tie it up. The pitch is not there, so the count goes 2-1. Wofford can keep it going. The top of the order comes to bat for the Cougars. So a very important next couple of batters for Vasquez. That was barely not there as well. 3 balls and a strike. Fans here at Rattler Field not in agreement with that for sure. Throw over. Cruz getting very, very familiar with the dirt around first base, or the turf around here at first base. Several dives back as he has to be aware of Vasquez's move. And the 3-1 misses. So ball 4 puts 2 runners on for Canyon. And third baseman Tristan Wofford makes his way to the mound, to the plate. All right, we're going to take a moment here to come out and talk to Jack. Coach making his way out, infield making their way in. Huge situation here. The Cougars now have the tying run at the plate in Wofford. So far tonight, Wofford walked and was picked off, struck out. So we're just walking through to let Jack know where we are, what we need to do. There is 1 out in the inning. Double play is always in effect in this situation. Again, Rattlers looking to officially clinch that playoff berth without tiebreakers. So it's a good place to be either way, but boy, would it feel good to put the Cougars away tonight and know that the playoffs are ready to go with 2 ball games to go. Again, we'll go down to New Braunfels Thursday night to face these Cougars one more time, and then we'll be on the air here at Rattler Up Network for the regular season finale Tuesday of next week as Buda Johnson comes to town. So all these great opportunities to come and be a part of Rattler baseball here at Rattler Field or on YouTube on the Rattler Up Network. All right, Wofford now has runners at first and second. So Charlie Helgeson and Trace Munoz are really going to have to be on their feet as they keep the runner on, but also start to get back into double play depth. First pitch is there for a strike. 0-1. So the spray charts on Wofford are telling him Trace Munoz is going to go ahead and stay in place. Charlie's doing the work of the back and forth. He gets back into double play ball, and there's a ball back up the middle. Charlie's on it, over to second for 1. No play at first. It was hit right back at Jack, who wasn't able to get down in time. Slowed it down a little bit, though. Charlie able to get it over to Trace Munoz for the out at second. So it goes 1-4-6 for the second out of the inning. Now a runner does advance to third. That'll be important. Wofford reaches first on a fielder's choice, and they'll have the top of the order line up. J.D. Ramirez, number 8, or the number 24, the center fielder. 2 runners on and 2 outs. Ramirez, the only run scored by the Cougars. He reached on a hit by pitch and scored in the first. That pitch is there, 0-1. So 2 outs. Ramirez represents the tying run here. So the Cougars in a little bit of a hole, but having a chance here to do something about it. That ball hit into right field. Landon Munoz is under it, and he makes the catch, and the Rattlers win it. The Rattlers win it 4-1 and officially have clinched a playoff berth. The Rattlers are going to the playoffs with 2 to go. What a great place to be for the Rattlers. Vasquez gets the win. He strikes out 5 in a complete game victory. And what a victory for the Rattlers. 4-1, the final from Rattler Field. And there it is. They have clinched and are headed to the UIL's 6A baseball playoffs. What an exciting night here at Rattler Field as it continues to be that way. The CTE Digital Communications Program continuing to bring you these live broadcasts on the Rattler Up Network. So as we've mentioned, go down to New Braunfels Thursday night, support the Rattlers taking on the Cougars, and be back with us live. Pack the stands. You can bring your phone and watch us on YouTube. We'd rather have you here live. Let's pack the stands for the regular season finale against Buda Johnson. But tonight, on Tuesday night, the 15th, on Tax Day, the Rattlers pick up the victory. The final from Rattler Field, the San Marcos Rattlers 4, the Canyon Cougars 1. Thank you for watching. This has been a production of the CTE Digital Communications Program only on the Rattler Up Network.